Homosexual criminalisation laws in New South Wales had a devastating impact on gay communities and individuals across the state. Chris Minns will deliver a formal apology in Parliament today to people who were convicted under those historical laws. A recipient of today's apology, Terry Goulden, describes how his arrest affected his life.
You were virtually hidden. You didn't discuss it, you didn't talk about it. It was something shameful. Nothing like it is today. So.
I believe that you were arrested, charged and convicted in your very early 20s. How did that change the trajectory of your life?
Oh, it absolutely did. For a start, I lost my public service job straight away, no questions asked, not even any support from the unions, of course, nothing. So basically that meant I went off. But in another way, it had I suppose, a good effect in that it set me up in the future years that when it came to joining things like camp and working for gay rights and that, I think that was the impetus behind that. There's a very cynical attitude that behind every gay rights movement is a police force.
20, it's a very formative time in one's life. What sort of support did you have during that time to help you get through it?
I had support from a couple of friends, plus my mother, even though she couldn't understand or didn't understand what was going on and what it was all about. She still very heavily supported me through the whole situation.
And what about for those perhaps friends of yours or others that you didn't know but you just heard about that didn't have such support networks?
Oh, well, they didn't survive, did they? A great many people committed suicide during that time. A lot went to jail, which, of course, further totally ruined their life and any expectations they had in their life. It just really wasn't a good time for anybody.
And it wasn't just the fines or prison. Some men, I believe, were referred for treatment to cure their homosexuality. Yeah,
well, as part of the thing from my solicitor, he sent me off to a behavioural psychiatrist changing homosexuality, which of course it didn't. He put me onto some god-awful drug which did nothing. Nothing to the mind, but everything to the body. So I basically tossed them down the toilet about a couple of months later, and I probably shouldn't admit it on air, but broke my bond with the court and went off and started enjoying gay sex again.
So, Terry, the apology today, what does it mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot. To me, it's a very symbolic act that says that those voodoo laws, as I call them, should never have been on the statute books. They should never have been used so selectively. And also, of course, we had an Attorney General who tightened the laws by removing any defence of consent. So you couldn't even say that you consented to the assault, a so-called assault. I think sweeping them away is a very important step. I wish, though, that they could do a little bit more practical. There's still things on the laws that should be changed, like, for instance, being able to change your gender on your birth certificate and those sort of things for trans people and for gender fluid people.
One group I read, Pride in Protest, says today's apology is a textbook political theatre designed to distract from New South Wales Labor's ongoing refusal to better protect queer people in New South Wales. They're calling for an equality bill to be passed now. Do you share those sentiments?
Not quite in those terms. A little bit harsh. I mean, unfortunately, people involved in political activity often don't realise the reality of political life. But let's say that this is one step on the way. If they bring in or they bring in something equivalent to Alex Greenwich's equality bill. So, I mean, it's one step at a time. It always is.
Well, Terry, thank you for sharing your thoughts and your personal journey on what is a big day, it sounds. Terry Goulden, thank you.
Thank you, Kath.